Today, we'll be ranking the chapters of Paper Mario. We'll be ranking my least favorite chapter to my favorite chapter in Thousand Year Door. This specific image uses the original Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but I replayed through the remake. I do have the original Thousand Year Door. I played it several times when I was a kid. Beat the game several times, basically. But, yeah. So basically, we'll be ranking all the chapters. And we rank him for the remake version because basically at the very end of the game, where I'm at the final boss. So, yeah. What is the absolute worst chapter in the game? First chapter will have to be still chapter 2. They have fixed a lot of the problems with chapter 2, but still there. The one is we have to get all the punies and stuff to follow you. And in the remake, it is much more easier, but in the original game, of course, it was very difficult and much more harder as well, especially when the spider. But the only problem I had with the punies was the whole when the spiders appeared. But other than that, the punies actually followed you pretty better in this remake as well. Also, I do find the puny characters pretty funny, especially the elder. The C was pretty funny, and of course, Punio and her sis and his sister. And, of course, the fat puny who refused to help at all. It was pretty funny. But, yeah, I still think it's the worst chapter as well. Also, the whole timer thing as well. Yeah. And then there was also a lot of backtracking in chapter 2. And, yeah, that is the lowest rated chapter, in my opinion. Number 7. We gotta be ranking chapter 6. I do like the mystery thing in this, but I don't really like. I have never liked the chapter boss, which is Smorg. Okay, when I was a kid, I was stuck on chapter 6 for the longest time because of Smorg. Smorg deals a lot of damage. Okay, 5 damage per tentacle, and yes, you can use attacks that can kill all the tentacles easily. But that costs a lot of FP, especially if you use the Vivian attack. 6 FP is a lot. And the raid game, of course, isn't that costly compared to what it is at the Smorg battle if you get more FP. But the Smorg battle is very annoying. You have to defeat all of his tentacles, and then they'll finally reveal its head. And then you have to do as much damage to it as possible. And then when you're running more on HP, the Smorg will switch up its attack to a much more powerful attack that deals even more damage. I always never liked the Smorg battle. Also, there wasn't a lot of enemies in this level. Well, in this chapter, you had all those boos at the end, and then you had the stop area where you had to fight the poison pokies and the puffs and stuff. The mystery part is still pretty fun, but once you beat the chapter, the mysteries, it's not really solved at the end. Now we're going to the 6th favorite chapter, or the 6th chapter place. It's at chapter 4. Chapter 4 was improved a lot as well. I do like the whole thing with the dupless, taking your partners and stuff, but the whole problem of this chapter is the backtracking. Chapter 2 has some backtracking, but Chapter 4 has the worst backtracking besides the Chapter 7. And yeah, other than that, Dupless is a pretty funny character, and it's actually a good chapter. And yeah, next is number 5. Okay, we've gone through 3 chapters, so 8, 7, 6, 5. Chapter 7. That's this one. This one isn't. The only problem is the backtracking, but they kind of fixed it in the remake. Yeah, they actually fixed the backtracking where you have all the pipes that can go to the roads and stuff. Basically, it just leads to all the areas you need to go to, which means you just need to talk to the people. But in the GameCube version, I would actually put this Reload Chapter 4. Also, I like the fact that you go to the moon as well, and you get to literally storm the X-Naut base. The area that's been teasing you the whole area, you get to explore the whole area and see the areas that even see the bed and stuff that Princess Peach. Also, I like when you check the sour, the little X-Naut comes out and fights you. It's pretty funny. But yeah. Now we'll be going into the good stuff. So we did all the. Now we'll be doing chapter 8, the final chapter. There's a lot of boss battles in chapter 8, but it's the final chapter. All the fights are pretty good, and there are a total of, okay, including Dark Bones, uh, Gloomtail, Sao Silent's second fight, Bowser and Gortys, and the Sour Green. That's a total of 6 bosses. Okay. And also, this is the chapter you'll level up the most. I also really like the theme of the level. And also, the level looks beautiful. All the levels look beautiful in the remake. But I think chapter 8 has, if you compare the original to the remake, you will not want to, like, yes, if someone said the original game's graphics have held up so well, compare chapter 8 to the remake of chapter 8, like, it's beautiful, like, it's gorgeous. Okay, they really made the chapter look way better as well. So yeah, it's a very great chapter, definitely. And then we have chapter 1. Oh, why are we ranking chapter 1 so high? Because I think it's the most memorable chapter in this. And also, chapter 1 will include the prologue as well. It sets up the entire story, the entire scene. You get to meet Koops. The best part of the chapter is my favorite part of the chapter has always been the quiz farm, but it's very funny they had to do the quiz farm, and then at the end he says, "Stupid wolves, I'll let you through." The only underwhelming part of the chapter is the gold fuzzy. Having to find Hooktail's weakness as well, with the frog in the remake and the crickets in the GameCube version as well. Also, the puzzles and stuff are pretty easy to solve, and also the enemies are also pretty easy. There isn't really anything really difficult in chapter 1. It is the first chapter, after all. Number 2, chapter 5. Chapter 5, I think, is a very great chapter. I love the whole, you get stranded on the island and stuff. You have to find the ship. I like the whole backstory with the bomb guy. He joins the team, Bobbly. And I like the fact that you get wrecked out of sea because of these spirits and stuff. And basically, you have to basically find a way off the island. And then you realize that you have to basically find this treasure, because you realize this is what you're looking for the whole time, the Crystal Skull. And I like the Battle of Cortez. It has 3 phases. It's pretty fun as well. You have to, second phase is pretty easy. You just have to blow away all the tools with the flurry, But yeah, it's a very good chapter. The only problem with this chapter is there's some backtracking through the jungle, back and forth as well. And yeah. And of course, my favorite chapter in the entire game, Chapter 3. Oh yeah, who could have guessed this one? Chapter 3, I think, is still, in my opinion, the most memorable chapter. It is early in the game, but I like the fact that this is like a massive tournament that you get held in, you have to go into, and you basically rise your way to the top like a Rocky movie. It has always been my favorite chapter because of this, because you're basically these underdogs that just entered, and no one respects you until you get further and further on. Your roommates start to respect you in the rookie club, and then you go to the higher club. Your roommates start to respect you in that one, and you even defeat Warcock, and even he, once you beat him, respects you. And see at the very end, they all of them respect you. And of course, the whole mystery where Grubber's pulling the strings and tries to defeat you, and is holding the crystal style hostage. It's also a pretty good, change of pace as well, with Grubber being the secret antagonist the whole time, and wasn't Warcock the whole time. I won't spoil the whole chapter for you, but it's a pretty good chapter. I do like this. Especially when I was a kid, this was definitely my favorite chapter. We had to fight through the massive tournament and stuff. Yeah, so that is about the chapter ranking. Oh, there's no bad chapters in Paper Mario, obviously. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year-Old Door. This is a phenomenal game, obviously. But yeah, some people may not like my rankings, especially with Chapter 6. Like, people are like, where's the kid Scepter? But I don't like Smorg. If I do rank on the chapter bosses, I think Smorg would be last place, because I hate that thing. I have always hated fighting that thing. And yeah, that's about this video here. Goodbye.